Hey guys, Desolate Magic here. Time for part 2 of today's video. Oh boy, so the banned and restricted update. Well, absolutely nothing was banned in standard, as you may have heard. The reasoning behind it looks good on paper, but that's why I'm here to look deeper because, if you really want to lie, you can make the statistics and the numbers say whatever the hell you want. So let's just read their statement here. It says, standard. In light of community discussion and the banned and restricted changes made earlier this year, we'd like to take this opportunity to provide an update on standard. Throughout the Dominaria season, we've seen quite a lot of evolution of the standard environment over time, and we're generally happy with how the format has been progressing. Really? Okay, we all know that statement's utter bullshit, but if it was true, whoever wrote it should be fired. They do not deserve and they are not qualified to have a position at Wizards of the Coast because that is the most ignorant, stupid, tone-deaf, just clueless bullshit statement I've ever heard in my entire life. So we went from control draw spam garbage with Approach of the Second Sun to removing it and not having a win condition to basically just try to mill the person out or just hope they die of old age or something. And that uses the absolute mistake of a card that was Teferi, and then Karn was a disaster. He's just basically Smuggler's Copter 2. He's just a colorless card draw engine. Everybody runs him and he's $50 because of it. He was a mistake. He's too damn powerful. And actually, no, that's not true. He's not too powerful. He just should have cost 5 mana. The difference between 4 mana and 5 mana would have been enormous. At that point, I wouldn't even care if people played him because he'd be too damn late game and too damn slow. If they already had a losing board state because you were coming in at him, they would not be able to turn it around by outdrawing you because you would destroy him. Hell, at that point, you'd probably have enough mana to just counter him if you're playing the right colors. Or exile him in white, or kill him in black, or burn him in red. Why is anybody playing green at this point? So that pretty much covers it. So they're taking their reasoning on why standard is healthy and it's moving and it's changing and people are coming up with new ideas is because that's not wrong. It's just, what's the saying? They're missing the forest for the trees or something like that. I don't remember. You got to see the bigger picture. Okay, 1. Is your entire customer base the people who give you money, not the assholes who show up to GPs and Pro Tours. Fuck them, who cares about them? The other literal 99.998% approximately of people who don't go to a GP, the ones who pay your salaries and give you money, are they pissed off? And are they not showing up to F&M? The answer is yes and yes. You should walk into work Monday morning after figuring out that everybody's pissed off and just start alarm bells and flipping desks over and accusing everybody and blaming everybody and just emergency situation, okay? This is like World War III just started. Our customers turned on us. What the hell do we do? I mean, this is like CEO goes on a racist rampage on Twitter type of like situation right now with how pissed off the customers are at the company and the state of standard. It is unplayable. Control spam, you don't get to play Magic, and Red Rush, I'm so fast that nothing can stop me, is not what I'd call healthy. And their numbers are they're just bullshit. They're splitting decks into categories that don't exist. They're using numbers from MTGO, which is not F&M. It's really, they don't get it. They are either willfully ignoring the state of standard and the community happiness, or they're that clueless about what's really going on with real people and real customers at the real level, aka local. I mean, I legitimately think that those like 50-plus-year-old clueless, tuned-out dumbasses who live in their own little universe on Twitter with all their fans who kiss their asses, they might actually think, oh, why is attendance going down in F&M? Is it because people are pissed off at what they have to play against? Like all this Teferi Karn bullshit? Or it must be Fortnite. Those kids in their Fortnite, they must be home playing Fortnite. That's it. Nothing we can do. Let's push digital. You may recall there is a MOBA coming out. I am not kidding. It's Magic themed. There's also the Cryptic MMO, which is based on Magic. And then there's Arena. LGSs are dying, paper's dying, whatever, it is what it is. Kids don't like paper anymore, apparently. No, people would be out playing this shit if the game wasn't garbage. You know what's funny? GP attendance is down the toilet too. Rumor is 20 to 30% less attendance than last year at GP Vegas. Whoopsies. So they go on to say, early in the season, Grixis energy decks rose to popularity. Yeah, how'd that go? What happened? What happened there? I can't imagine why people had to stop playing that. Followed by white-blue control deck variants, or as I like to call it, literally the worst thing to happen to mankind since the Holocaust. And then white-black vehicles. What the fuck are they talking? Who is playing white-black vehicles? I have never seen that deck in my entire life, not even in one game on X-Mage or Arena. That is not a deck. That is literally something they just made up. So black-red decks had breakout performances at Grand Prix Birmingham and Pro Tour Dominaria, which were then attacked by a resurgence in low-to-the-ground aggressive mono-red decks. Yeah, they were a little bit faster, that's true. Since then, we've continued to see the metagame adjust. So broken shit deck that had to get banned, because remember, they banned energy, basically. Then blue-white toxic control, everybody stopped playing Magic. And then a deck that never existed, they're just lying. And then black-red toxic just removal, cover yourself rush shit. And then an even faster removal mono, so you don't have to worry about getting screwed. Mana screwed or color screwed or whatever. So it went from bad to worse to they just made something up to worse to worse. That's not evolution, that's like a downslide. That's getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. I'd say they should have done something. They did. They just stopped doing something after energy because they did something to stop Grixis energy. They have done nothing to stop white-blue except for watch people resort to playing one archetype, which is rush control. Well, it's not even control, it's rush removal. It's very specifically removal. There's no counter spells in the mono red deck. Imagine that. Control is a more all-encompassing term. So I don't get how they think that any of these decks are friendly or fun to play against, because they're not, okay? I mean, remember when it was dinosaurs, pirates, and vampires, people were like testing that out and playing it? It's like, you had time to play around it, and if you didn't, you need to build your deck better and balance it and make it just a little bit faster, a little bit tighter, more consistent. People are playing like weird green ramp hybrid, and like, I saw black improvise come back. I saw blue improvise come back. They all paled in comparison to energy, but people who weren't into that energy shit or Approach of the Second Sun, they were playing that. And it was like, okay, even if you lost the dinosaurs, you're like, okay, it's like turn 12. I mean, geez, like, I should have controlled the board state. Maybe I should have sideboarded in a board wipe, or just, I should have had a way to play around in Rage, or maybe I should have added more life gain so I could take the hits. You just start thinking, what can I do to play around this? That's actually evolution, not just, oh, look at this unbeatable deck. Oh, now there's a new unbeatable deck. Oh, now there's a new unbeatable deck. That's not healthy. That just pisses people off. So their number one excuse, well, I don't want to jump the gun here. Let's read the rest of this bullshit. So while mono red and black red decks are the most popular decks on Magic Online, that is true. Oh my God, if I were to even compare it to Arena or X-Mage, it's like 50% or more. Their win rates are in a normal and healthy range. Okay, not false. It's not that great of a deck. It's pretty fragile and it burns itself out. You got to curve out, and like, if you don't have a high end, you're dead. So you're going to need that Glorybringer, you're going to need that Chandra, you're going to need that Chain Whirler. If you've got nothing but piddly little crap or nothing but removal, eventually you're going to burn out, pun intended. And then you're just going to top deck yourself into a disaster. So the deck is fragile and it can fail. And if they get rid of Bomat when you don't have a red open, you can't recycle your hand. There goes your Wheel of Fortune. You're in deep shit. Also, if you land flood, you're screwed. So it's not that good of a deck. It's just, it wins a lot. People are playing with it because it wins, but their argument is that it doesn't win enough. My argument is that it doesn't fucking matter because everybody had to warp their decks around this one, and it's one deck. I mean, black-red is just fast, quick creatures with removal to cover them, and then mono-red is, fast red creatures with removal to cover it. I mean, it's the same deck. It's the same damn thing. It's just rush, 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 go, go, go. So God help you if they go first, because you almost can't win. And whatever you throw in the way, they will Fatal Push it, they will Magma Spray it, they will Shock it, they will Lightning Strike it, they will Glorybringer it, they will On-Crop Crasher it, they will Kenra it. Like, it doesn't matter what you throw on the battlefield. Nothing can stop this. The funny thing is, though, everybody else is playing a buttload of removal, and if they play enough removal, I mean, like I said, there's no counter spells in these colors. The deck is so fragile and so beatable, and it burns itself out so easily, not quite to the extent of red normally because of Bomat, but still, I mean, it's fragile if you're playing the right deck. You have to play a deck that beats it, and that is the problem. These fast as fuck decks are completely ruining any kind of creativity, anything. You can't play dinosaurs, you really can't play vampires, and that's exclusively because of Chain Whirler. Hey, remember when 2 removal colors with heavy lifelink could beat Red Rush? Pepperidge Farms remembers. So does the Desolator Magic channel. If you literally threw out a 40 card deck of lifelinkers, you would get your ass kicked by this deck because of the sheer level of removal and not letting you block. It's ridiculous. I mean, honestly, I would probably ban that stupid god card, whoever the fuck the red god is, Glorybringer and Bomat and on Crop Crasher and probably Chain Whirler too, just to be safe. I mean, can you even really pick the problem with that deck? Arguably it's Chain Whirler, but I would say that really people would have to stop playing it if it wasn't for Bomat. So if I had to pick one, I'd say Bomat, and if I had to pick 2, I'd say Chain Whirler. Oh, and Soul Scar is pretty broken. So honestly, yeah, just ban like 7 cards out of the deck. I hate every last one of them. I'm exaggerating slightly and being slightly sarcastic, but seriously, I am sick to my ass of playing against this fucking deck online. I hate it. I'm sick of it. I don't even want to play Magic. I don't want to show up to FNM. It's fucking bullshit. No matter what I build, it's going to be too fucking slow for these 2 stupid fucking decks. And then, oh boy, I might have the wonderful treat of playing against blue-white control still. Both of those decks needed to be eliminated. And think about it, what would be left? Very, very, very beatable vampires. There's nothing they can do until M19 drops about board wipes. They'd have to mix it with Embalm, and then they wouldn't get the synergy, and it would weaken to the point where it's playable, but not, absolutely ridiculous. Dinosaurs are pretty good, either quick or ramp, enrage heavy or super, Titan size shit. I think vehicles are still good. I've seen people play energy. Improvise is very, very underrated right now. And unfortunately, there's a third deck that's not quite on people's radar unless you've been really paying attention. Actually, it is on their list. Winding Constrictor Counter Dump. Most of it's 2 color, some of it's 3 color, and that deck is almost impossible to beat. And for some reason, they always have Winding Constrictor in their opening hand. Don't know how the fuck that is, because it's pretty damn hard to cheat online. Normally, I'd accuse them of running more than 4, slipping it into their hand, or, swapping out a card, pulling it out of their pocket, whatever, swapping, But online, I don't know. It's probably the rigged shit, because how the fuck do they always have Bomat without mulliganing? Because they do. I mean, just look at it. Just go play Arena. And they do. They fucking have it every time. And I have Dauntless every game. I'm starting to think they're rigged, and they've already admitted that the opening hand is rigged. They actually draw 2 and then pick the best of them, and they aren't being very specific about what it is. So I think I end up with Dauntless a little bit too often, and they end up with Bomat a little bit too often because it heavily favors 1 cost. So they go on to show this bullshit graphic about here are the win rates of the most popular decks on Magic Online competitive leagues, taken as a snapshot from mid-June, which, fuck mid-June. While these numbers can fluctuate from week to week, in other words, fuck mid-June, as the metagame churns, they're representative of the ranges we've been seeing over time. Really, it's just been getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, so I guess that is all the same range, if you want to put it that way. So note that decks are automatically clustered by archetype through a computer algorithm, not manually categorized. Okay, so that's why there's like 3 decks on this list that are completely the same fucking deck. They like splash a color and this is like, well, it's a different deck. No, it's not. So they're already just purposely letting it be misleading. Like they called it green-black steel leaf. No, it's Winding Constrictor. And then they've got green-black snake. No, it's the same fucking deck. Putting in steel leaf doesn't make it a different fucking deck. I mean, one has more control and relies less on counters. Guess what? Surprise Princess still runs snake. Well, then they got white-blue control and white-blue flash. Yeah, because those are 2 completely different decks. Right. White-blue gift. Oh, there's no control in that. You wouldn't even call that white-blue control. It has a different win condition. Or I should say, it has a win condition. Oh, and then Esper control. That's a completely different deck, everybody. That's not literally the same fucking deck with less of a point. Hey, green-white mid-range made it on there. That's Creature Flood. Kick ass. It only has a 47.9% win rate. Literally the bottom of this list is green-blue steel leaf and green-black steel leaf. Because those are completely different, everybody. But okay, here are the win rates. I mean, obviously I'm not throwing this up on screen because it'll just fucking aggravate everybody. Go look it up if you're so damn curious. But 49.9%, 51.9, 49%. I'm not going to say the points. Okay, 51, 52, 49, 51, 45, 47, 53, 45, 51, 55. And the highest win rates are the least played decks in my opinion. And that makes sense. People are coming up with, okay, what can we do to shut down these fucking decks and what can actually beat them? And then they're having a slightly higher win rate because they're correct. Every one of these decks is degenerate shit. Every fucking one of them, except for white-green mid-range. That's actually pretty good, and I'm not just saying that because I play it. It's because you flood the field, and they've got more than enough opportunities to kill Shana or to kill you before you get to, 6 mana for an Ajani or 4 mana for that other Huatli. I mean, Appeal to the Authority is a death sentence, but other than that, I mean, whenever I rely on having too many creatures on the field for you to deal with and then use that to my advantage to win, you should have done something about it. It's really that simple. That deck's very fair and beatable, but it's so powerful, so fast, so good, and so consistent, and has so much removal through force fighting and exiling, and some of the exiling is creatures, that it's a fair seeming deck. It deserves to be tier 1 though. By the way, if you want the most powerful version of the deck list, arguably my last video basically, or 2 videos back or whatever, it's the white-green one. It's basically what everybody's playing, what I'm winning with 90% of the time online. So none of these decks have even exceeded 56%, we'll say. A lot of them are 49%. In fact, the most played ones are slipping to 49%, and it's because people are adapting. Here's the thing. Take this whole chart and shove it right up your ass, Wizards, because it doesn't mean a goddamn fucking thing. Oh, none of the decks must be unfair because none of them have like a 65% win rate. But people are boxed into having to play around this shit. And it's not like a surprise, ooh, there's powerful cards and powerful archetypes, and now people have to play around them. That ain't new. It's just, here's 2 things. Well, I'll say 3 because y'all know it's 3. 3 things that people never want to be forced into playing against. 1, control draw shit where they don't even get to play their deck. Everything gets removed. Everything gets countered. Everything gets exiled. You're just fucked. So, white, blue, control, withdraw engines. That needs to never be a thing ever. Too much control with too much draw with too many board wipes, that is toxic. Nobody wants to play against that shit. 2, decks that are way the fuck too fast, where you are basically dead on turn 4 if you don't have immediate answers. Some decks hit their power bar at the 3-cost spells, but if red goes first, you're already dead at that point. I mean, you're not literally losing the game on turn 4, but there is nothing you can do to bring yourself back. Not even the most miracle pull off the top of your deck. You are fucked. You're sitting there at 6 life, and you're dead no matter what because they're just flooding you with shit, and none of your creatures can block. Half of them are dead and exiled. It's just bullshit. So the game's just over because of the speed of the deck. So decks that are way the fuck too fast, either due to free casting, way too much mana ramp, or too quick and aggressive of creatures, nobody wants to play against that, and that's what we've got right now. Plus blue-white control. 3rd one, mill. Fuck mill. Nobody wants to have to play around mill because it's almost impossible. You need graveyard recycling, that's usually color restrictive. It's fucking bullshit. If you're gonna win a game of Magic, stop winning it like a fucking coward by making me run out of cards and run out of patience and run out of time in the round time, okay? Fuck that, fuck mill. Well, we've got 2 out of 3 right now, and that's dominating, so if they think this is healthy just solely based on win rates, maybe they should take a customer survey about why are you not showing up to F&M if you're not? How pissed off are you? How satisfied are you with the standard meta? How happy are you with what your opponents are playing at F&M? Ask the right questions and you will get the answers. That's the thing. They already know the answers, or they're just so unplugged from the community that they don't even know what's going on. Either way, they do not want to hear this. So I would highly recommend that you let them know about this fucking lack of a ban decision, because it should have been, honestly, Glimmer would be nice. Teferi, Walking Ballista, fuck that card too. Scarab God has nothing to do with the meta right now, just fuck that card. And bare minimum Bomat, if not Chandra or Glorybringer. Or either Soulscar or Chain Whirler. I mean, you could ban any one of those cards and red would be brought right back down to earth. And I wouldn't just be like, oh, let's ban Shock and Magma Spray. No, that's not the solution. That's not the problem, okay? That's just classic red. You gotta get rid of the cards that are just too damn much. And that would be Chain Whirler and Bomat. I mean, most of the time, if they cannot reload their hand, I'm going to win, and I lose because they do reload their hand. That said, I've been beating Red Rush, God, 80% of the time on Arena. I'm just sick of playing against it. And every time I lose against it, it's just, I bring out something, they remove it and swing with Bomat. I bring out something, they kill it, and then swing with Bomat. And it's just, boom, 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 and then I lose. Wow, what a great match. What an exciting, dynamic match. Fuck that. The funny thing is on Arena, nobody can play blue-white control because it's like nothing but mythics, which is hilarious. And the couple people playing it, it's such an imperfect version of the deck that I just run them over on like turn 5 with like mono white. But you go to Axe Mage and it's a fucking disaster. It's nothing but white-blue control. Well, except that people are starting to start lobbies that say no blue-white control or just no blue-white at all. And if they see a blue-white land go down turn 1, they are going to hit that concede button so fucking quick. You basically don't get to play the deck. The deck basically is banned from X-Mage. Because nobody's going to waste 50 minutes of their life playing one fucking match against this just absolute horseshit deck. And then the funniest part is Red Rush just utterly fucking destroys it. It's such a slow build-up deck with so many 4 and 5 costs that it just gets literally ran over by Red. It's a massacre. So, the two decks are keeping themselves in check, right? Or they're keeping each other in check, I should say. Who gives a shit? I can't build anything. I can't build anything slow or I'll lose to blue-white control and Red Rush. And by slow, I mean some things in the deck cost 3. Like, that's slow right now because of Red. Absolutely unplayable shit meta right now. It's a fucking disaster. I don't care about the Pro Tour. I don't care about MTGO. They're just a bunch of copycat net decking douchebags. They just pick a deck off this list and play it, and they're like, oh, cool, I have about a 50-50 win rate with everything. I'm happy with that. I like to build decks, okay? I like to come up with new deck ideas, and I don't want to be constrained by, okay, blue-white's going to completely fuck me if this isn't the most resilient deck ever made by mankind, or red's going to run me over if it's not the fastest deck ever made by mankind. That boxes me into nothing. Like, even Saprolings aren't fast enough. Vampires are barely fast enough. They're not even on this list. So barely they're not fast enough. And Vampires, they won one of the Pro Tours. I think they won the last Pro Tour. Like, at least the Rick's one, I think. Or maybe they're in second place. Either way, 2 of them were in the top 8. And I think there was like 4 of them in the top 16. So anyway, let's read the rest of this bullshit explanation that just outlines how much Wizards does not fucking understand one thing about the standard meta or what their customers actually want. We want creativity and fun and flexibility where we can build anything, and as long as it's a really, really good deck, we can actually win with it. Or bare minimum, if we're losing, at least it's a fun game. There's nothing fun about getting just destroyed by red where you have nothing left on the field, or 50 turns later losing with nothing on the field to blue-white, okay? That is not fun. That is not enjoyable. If we're playing some crazy-ass back-and-forth game and this happens and that happens and, oh, they turned it around, then I turned it around, and then, oh, look at this miracle pull, and then, oh, I just barely survived with 1 life, and then this happened, that. I don't care who wins. I don't give a shit. I'm there to have fun. There is no fun right now. Wizards fucking killed fun, okay? They took fun, ripped it into pieces, and then flipped off the community and said, we only care about this chart right here. You want to build a deck? Fuck you. Pick one off this list. Absolutely fucking disgusting. So they go on to say, monitoring these win rates and populations over time, we continue to see a shifting metagame even post-Pro Tour. Ooh, they're so fucking proud of that. Usually when the most winning decks aren't the most played decks, it's an indication that the metagame hasn't settled into an equilibrium state. Okay, once again, I don't care about win rates. I don't care about one deck outshining the rest. I care about how fun is Magic right now. And right now, it's a complete shitstorm. They should be deeply concerned about whether people are having fun playing their game or not, outside of the Pro Tour and outside of MTGO and outside of Grand Prix. So the next sentence starts with at Grand Prix Pittsburgh in Singapore. Okay, that's fuck off. I'm not going to read the rest of that. On the topic of red aggressive decks, Goblin Chainwhirler has been contentious among the community recently. Let me just say why. You cannot play anything with 1 toughness at all because so many people are playing Red Rush that this card will just fuck you. You're dead if this card hits the battlefield. So Vampire Saprolings, not only were they too slow to compete, but now they're just, this card just dominates. It is the end of the world. If Soulscar Mage is out, it doesn't matter what you're playing or what toughness, you just lost. Simple as that. So they explain it with, this cycle of triple colored mana cards from Dominaria was designed as a deck building reward for committing to a restrictive mana base. That I can completely support, okay? They need to just outright bring back Devotion, because you should be rewarded for playing mono. That's how Magic works. The more colors you play, the more you expose yourself to backfiring. Right now, you can play 3-color all you fucking want. There's so much fixing and filtering and shit. It's as consistent as Modern is. It's fucking ridiculous. So the catch is that Mono Red was already one of the better decks. Okay, you had to fucking ban it. Okay, not it's one of the better decks. It was some broken shit that had to have 2 cards banned from it. Okay, not it's one of the better decks. Okay, that is the most ridiculous like euphemism I've ever heard for wow did we fuck up. So they said, yeah, there really isn't much of a concession made in playing Goblin Chain Whirler. Exactly, so fucking ban it. You banned Red Rush once and everybody stopped playing it, and then Chain Whirler came out and now people are playing it again. It's just as toxic, fast, and broken. Ban the fucking card. Clear as fucking day, that's what you should do. So, no joke, that is like the end of it. They're just like, oh yeah, it was meant to be really powerful but have a trade-off, and there is no trade-off whatsoever. End of paragraph. No explanation. There's no explanation whatsoever for why they didn't ban it. So they do go on to say a lot of the power of current red decks come from last year's cards. That's because you had to ban the fucking deck. Hazoret the Fervent, Glorybringer, Chandra, Bomat Courier, which should be banned, as well as Abrade. Don't even fucking get me started on Abrade, because it's an answer to strong artifacts. Yeah, they fuck up my fucking Oketra's Monument so I can't even double block your stupid fucking Menace Pirates. Oh my god. So as those cards are entering their twilight in Standard, we anticipate the number of Goblin Chain Whirlers in the metagame will go down in the future. This in turn will open up more space in the metagame for decks that use 1 toughness creatures. Okay. In M19, there's a card where when it enters the battlefield, all your opponent's creatures and only your opponent's creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn, and it's black. Black-red is going to be the most dominant deck, and they're going to have to ban it. So, no, you're actually wrong about that. You just switch from mono-red, maybe drop Chain Whirler, maybe don't. I mean, there's going to be 9 sets worth of color fixing. I think you can get triple red off, honestly. I mean, it's so fast, just put in Aether Hub. Oh, and also when M19 drops, nothing cycles out, so there's that. But what they're saying, let me boil this down. Standard is going to be completely fucked by this deck for 3 months, but it doesn't matter because it's only 3 months. So just for 3 months, just go play a different game, because Magic is going to be an unplayable toxic shitfest. So just wait until rotation and then it'll be fixed. So, why would we ban it for just 3 months? Maybe because you need some customers over those 3 months. Maybe you don't want people to quit Magic and never come back. Is that a reason, maybe? Is that on your radar, you fucking morons? At least I'm pretty sure that like Hail of Arrows cards or whatever is cycling. I don't think that was from that shitty Space Egypt set. So they literally don't explain it. They say it's too powerful. Everybody in the community wants it gone. And there was supposed to be a trade-off, but there wasn't. We fucked it up because red was already so dominant that we had to ban it. And so we're not banning it because just tolerate it for 3 months. That's not a reason. That's not even really an excuse. That's more like an admission that you completely destroyed Standard, followed by nothing. But wait, there's this gem at the end. Meanwhile, the release of Core Set 2019 is bringing a set full of new tools to deck builders. No, there is actually just a bunch of shit that's going to make Red Rush worse. While we don't necessarily expect any of the cards to single-handedly crush red decks, you're goddamn right. The total package of new additions should shake up the metagame in general. No, none of the cards are fast enough. You have to be red fast in order to beat red. So 90% of M19 is dead on arrival. Absolutely unplayable. You will lose to red every time, too slow. Literally, if it costs 4 mana, it's fucked. You can't even play it. 7 cost triple color dragons, you will not live to see your 3rd color. There is nothing in M19 that solves this problem, so they are gonna have to ban something either out of cycle, or I think a day after the Pro Tour or something is another ban announcement. So get ready for the biggest ban announcement with the most cards included that you've ever seen in Standard, because they either have to do it or they have to stick to the bullshit that they just said, where they're like, yeah, it's fucked, but wait 3 months. Just let these net decking assholes ruin F&M for everybody, take all the prizes, drive away new people, drive away longtime people, cut the attendance in half, and then everybody will just come back and we'll make it up to you in 3 months when this toxic shit cycles out, right? No, that's not what's gonna happen. Fuck you, fix it right now. So once again, another just absolutely ignorant, clueless non-ban from Wizards of the Coast. At least there's one thing that I will I'd say agree with them. They never actually said this in the article, but blue-white control's fucked after rotation. That deck's going to be not playable. That whole entire archetype's going to be not playable. The bad side, which it's like the opposite of a silver lining, it's like a shit lining. So the shit lining of this is literally nothing will beat black-red or mono-red. Oh, but all the Egypt cards are red rush. Who gives a shit? They'll make it work. Trust me. Goblin Chain Whirler and that stupid -1 sweeper horse piece of shit. Yeah. I mean, you can even convert to red mid-range. There's so much crazy-ass red mid-range, you could get the person down to 10 life or below and then still have a mid-game. I mean, even losing Bomat, that's my #1 card that should be banned right now because the Wheel of Fortune's your hand and reloads it with no penalty if you have 0 cards. Doesn't matter. There's other card draw. I mean, there's Black Lifelink. I mean, like, you can stall out the game and keep going. There's still, well, there won't be Chandra, but there's, you know, like, there's Sarkhan, there's Black Planeswalkers. I mean, like, you can make it work. It's still going to be a toxic shit deck. So I can't wait to see how many customers they lose over this. Start counting everybody because it ain't gonna be fixed till, what, September, I think? Honestly, what I would recommend to everybody right now is just play casual, push for a different format at FNM, which not modern. Oh, and that's right. Whenever you put up prizes for Commander, people bring their turn 2 shit. So let's see, what could you play? Block Constructed? Maybe? Draft, I guess? I mean, except that draft is the worst thing ever and it costs too much. Oh, I know. Pokemon. I would recommend that your LGS silently switches FNM to Pokemon. That's the best we can do right now because Wizards they will not fix this fucking situation. So get ready for the worst standard meta since Ugin was legal as soon as M19 drops. I'll see you guys next disaster.